Hi ladies, I was asked to do a tutorial for this peekaboo slide card, and my camera broke down. So I'm trying to use an external one, so I can't zoom, but at least I think I can get it close enough that we can see how I did it. Okay? These are a lot of fun, and the first one is a little bit of work, but once you get used to it, it's not too bad. Okay? You can do them in just about any shape you want. I have some that I've cut and I'm doing it in a heart shape. And the one I'm doing today will be cut with one of the Tim Holtz mover and shakers. I really like those. I use these for the heart cutouts. And today's I use this. It's kind of like a square with the little beveled edges. Anyways, there's several ways to cut your images, not your images, but your openings out. Some people use the punches, and they do a nice job. I just can't seem to get mine to evenly layer back up. I'm slightly off one way or the other, and it drives me nuts. And if I glue my paper together so I have it the way I want it to look, I can't get the punch to go through it. So for me, the easiest way was to line up all my different papers at one time and send them completely through my Vagabond. So I'll kind of leave it up to you what method you choose to do. Some people could draw it out and then cut their shape out. So you can either use a punch, you can draw and hand cut it out, or you can use these dies. I did try using the Sizzlets, I don't know, the little teeny ones. And they do one piece of paper at a time, but I felt like I was back to the beginning again. I could only cut one piece of paper at a time, and then trying to always get it to line exactly. For me, it was very difficult. So this is the method I found best for me. Okay? Here are the measurements. I hope we can see them. The lighting's not that great in this room. Now this is the card stock. The front piece will be a 6 by 8 3/4. The center piece is 6 by 9 1/4. And the back piece is a 6 by 6 square. Okay? These are just your card stocks. Then the next thing you'll need is your decorative paper. Okay? For the front cover, you'll need a 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Now that was my preference. On this one, I did it 5 1/2 by 5 1/2, and it gave a much larger border of the cardstock showing. So that's up to you as well, what you like best. Okay? All right. So the front cover is 5 by 3/4 and 5 by 3/4. The center piece is 5 3/4 by 9. Okay? And something that I've done different that I've not seen on any of the other ones is this is my white art paper. I believe it's 100 or 120 pound watercolor paper. And it takes stamping very nicely. Plus, it makes it a little bit more sturdy. It's heavier than cardstock. Okay? And that was 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. Then there's 2 more pieces still. It's a 3 by 6, and that'll go in there just like this. Well, it measures up on the back piece, 6 by 6. This is only 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. And the other thing we need is this silly little piece of paper. It looks rather benign, doesn't look like it would do much of anything, but these are 2 pieces of cardstock glued together. And the reason why I did that was when you go to open your cards, it's a lot of paper at the one spot to be meeting. And if you don't do it just right, it'll jam. This was my very first card, okay? If you do it just right, it will slide all the way. But this is really tight in this area, okay? So what I learned on my future ones was to die the edge, glue 2 pieces together, die the edge, and when you put this in place, as you're putting your layers together, you don't even see it when it's all glued in place. So it doesn't matter that I didn't paint the whole thing. Just do one edge, or the 3 edges is fine. Okay, so how that'll go is like that. And the white, this is the 5.5 by 5.5, and that'll go right about there. Okay, and then this will end up right here. And the reason why I put that in mind was, when you left this solid, as you go to turn the page, for a few seconds you do see this. And I didn't want to just see the black or red, whatever my cardstock was. I kind of liked being able to see my inside paper, that I thought that gave it a little bit nicer look. The other reason, the hidden reason too, is, I think I can open this up enough, I put this on top of the white. The white goes down first, then this on top of it. Because when you go to open the pages, they will sometimes hit your images that you put in there, if you have them cut in the shape of a heart or whatever. So for me, it was easier to put down the art paper, the watercolor paper, do my stamped images on that. So when the paper slides in and out, it's never bumping up against this edge. It slides right off onto it. So it never hangs up. That was something I learned that I really has made a big difference for me. Okay? All right. I was thinking this one would be more like a wedding card. I haven't really made up my mind yet, but I'm going to go ahead and put it together today and show you what I've done. Okay? I will explain one more time how I cut all my pieces at the same time. Okay? All right. So this is your outside piece of your cardstock. And I don't know if you can see my glue there. I put just a little bit of tack it over and over glue so it'll come back off. And normally I'm supposed to put it right about here, so when you cut your paper, it's gone, so you don't ever see it again. But what I do is I line up all my papers, oops, how they're going to be. I have it slightly tacked in one spot so it won't move. So I've got my outside cover, my cardstock, I have my inside piece, and my inside decorative paper. Okay? Then they all get lined up together. Now, like I said, this is if you use the Shapers and Movers by Tim Holtz, and you pass it through your, I have a Vagabond, so whatever it is you have that you'd send your cutting dies through. But I put them all together, and like I said, I've got just a little bit of glue holding it in place so it won't move, and then you line it up. Okay, you need more than a 1/4 inch, but not much more than that from your edge, and so you kind of give it an eyeball to see where that's going to line up, and then you go ahead and put it through your machine. The only problem I have is trying to offset it. Sometimes, to make sure I have enough room, if I want to do it one way or the other, you have to be more careful. This one, it doesn't matter what went up and what went down, but this one, the heart ones, it did. You know, if I wanted the heart way at the bottom, my paper can only slide so far, so I was pretty well obligated to where it fit within the dimensions of this. So you kind of got to play with it a little bit, but what I loved was it cut everything identical. It all is in one swoop. It cuts through all those layers, and then everything completely lines up. That's what I like. Okay? All right, so we will quickly just glue these all together. The other reason why I liked having all the layers together was, I'm not sure if you've seen other cards, but they just have the one thin piece of paper, and so they're not real solid when you go to open and shut them. I kind of had a challenge with it flopping around, and it almost felt more like a Z card. So anyways, when you put the cardstock on here, you can go ahead and just put this down in here also. And it goes right along the side. Of course, I got it too close. Maybe that'd be smarter to put this one down first. Okay. Oops. Put that there. And this just covers what you would sometimes see when it opens up. Okay. Let's see. I hope I'm in frame. Sorry if not. Okay. And like I said, at this time, you can stamp and do your artwork on here. And you figure out more or less where it's going to be. And that way you have an idea of where you need to do your artwork. Okay? Alright, I'm going to push that out of the side real quick. And you just start putting your layers together. I haven't done too many of these videos, so I'm still learning, but if I can figure out how to fast forward through this so you don't have to watch me glue everything, I will try my best, okay? If not, in the future I will. It's still a learning process. On this one, glue here. Sometimes I forget and I end up gluing on this whole side. This whole part does not get attached. And you'll see what I mean as soon as I get done. It's perfectly lined right up there. Okay, because that doesn't completely line up. It's a little bit different. You want to do it to the front edge. Okay. And now we're going to put the liner in. I normally have a coffee mug sitting here, and I have it tilted upside down. I wished I had brought it. Oh, there's some of this on both sides. I know it looks like I'm putting an awful lot of glue down, but actually I'm mashing the bottle against the cardstock, so that way it comes out a wide bead, but a very shallow bead, so it doesn't go out of the lines when I put my pieces together. Okay? And guess what I did? Alright, learn from my mistake. It goes on here because I just glued outside my border line. Sorry about that. I just jumped a foot. It says my battery is low. Okay. All right, and this is something that I want to show you that I did differently than most. I need my red tape. Be right back. Okay, what I'd like to show you is how I did mine a little bit different than the rest. And here's how it goes together. All right, this will be the part that flaps, and then it swings this way, okay? So what I did was, I took my 1 1/4 notch, actually it's a square, and I notched a little bit out on each one. Then I took some the sticky red tape, I put that down. Like I said, about 1 1/4 or so, okay? This stuff is super sticky. I really like working with it. Yeah, it pretty well stays in place. Wherever you put it down, that is where it's staying. That's okay, it'll be fine. Okay, we'll pull it off. Sorry about that. Okay. I'm going to line this all up. And that way you have a solid back. And as you slide it in, and it should go all the way in, but it looks like I'm hanging up just a little bit on the top. Easy fix. You just open it back up. Oh, I got this little piece still hanging there. That might be my problem. Okay. We'll see how it works now. And there you go. When you have all your pieces in there and you get your places all, and then on this piece, you'll have another piece of whatever is the switching photo you want to put in there. Just gets attached right there. So whatever that is, you can use a photo. You can put some more of your art paper. Like I like the watercolor paper. It's really nice because I can either stamp on it, I can do painting on it, whatever, and that'll switch it out. All right? I hope that helps, and in the one box I'll rewrite all my dimensions for you. If you have any more questions, just send me a text Anyways, yeah, just send me a message in the comment box, and I promise as soon as I'm able, I'll get right back to you. Thank you. Bye.